gents. First gear in the water and on it right now, officially starting the 2019 Europe and Africa Open Championships final for ladies tricks. Anna Češpivová from Czech Republic. 3,940 points in the prelims to make it into the finals. Personal best set at 5,390. 4 years old at that. And here she comes. Starting it off with a wake 360 into the step over section. Wake once and flat once. Gets back into her ski and into the wake back backs. Flat once. And now the 540s. 1 and 2, very smooth. Let's see if she can land the flip in as well. And unfortunately, no, she cannot. And this is the exact same run she's shown us in the prelims there as well. She could not get the flip in. That's 500 points that the girl is missing. Not ideal, not ideal. Anna is the bronze medalist from 2016 in the World University Championships. That was slalom discipline, being released by her colleague from Federation, as far as I can see. That's Libor Hrubý there. Maybe it's Ivan. I'm not quite sure who that is from the Botaski family. Looks more like Ivan. It was quite close for some of these skiers here in prelims. Anna barely made that in as well with the 3,940. Loads of skiers who skied very decent scores there in the preliminaries. Gear changed. Let's bring the skier back on the water and swing them around to pass number 2, this time toe hold. I also take this opportunity to welcome the viewers of La Liga TV. Apologies, I do not speak any Spanish, so that's out of the table. It's just going to be English from here on out. For last year's finals, the skiers needed to get at least 4,280 points, so this time the bar slightly lower. For most of the competition in these days, it was actually the other way around. For example, in jumps, we've seen today an absolute stunning performance by the young French skiers, and it completely showed on the cutoff as well. But for tricks for ladies, that was 4,280. And here she is, Anna in her second pass. Starting over a T5 into the T back backs and into the reverse T5, T3 out of it, reverse T3. She needs to grab the rope and jump out. Wake T3, wake back backs, 1, and then whoa, and she falls on a rather simple trick there with the toe wake 180. Very unfortunate there for her, because she really needed to complete this run to get up the backing order. That's all right, Anna. You did your best there. It's very unfortunate. You rushed it a tiny bit there towards the end, but we understand, because that's what tricks are about. You only have 20 seconds each way, up and down, to show the most you can, and it needs to be according to the rules, and the judges need to think it was a correct trick. Precision, timing, speed, rhythm. That's what tricks are about. As we were completely capable of removing the transmission issues, as far as I'm aware. This time we should be streaming into the jury tower. Therefore, scoring should be happening live. I'm going going to go into the live results page to bring you the scores. I'll remind that this is a publicly available page at the www.feds-ea.org. Here we have the second skier on the water already, this time from Great Britain, Eleanor Benjamin, 4,000 points, a very, very round score there for her in the preliminaries. Was also very close to her personal best, set at 4,280, opening it up with a 360 step over, very smooth one at that, and a 180 into a flat 180. Once again, and then reverse jumping back, gets her into her ski and wake back backs. This time a bit slower than in the prelims as far as I can remember. Wake 180 into the 540, very, very nicely done. And a wake 360, side slides towards the end to get the extra points in. Beautiful stand-up run here from the British skier. Was a host of titles from Britain, the national champion in collegiate, also slalom national champion and overall in tricks as well. Plenty of titles under her belt. Eleanor, a very successful skier back in Britain. And there we have the first score, 3,680, 3,680 for Anna. Anna Češpilova, 3,680 points. Couldn't quite get the same result nor improve on her prelims. I'm sure she's not very pleased with herself there. Meanwhile, Eleanor in her pass number 2, toe hold. She's ready for quite a while there before the red buoy. It's a good time to get ready. Starting off with the T5 into the backpacks. Toe wake 180, that's where we seen Anna fall earlier. And then into the side slides, 1 and 2. Whoa, a bit of a rocky TO there, but good stuff. Jumps out of it as well, 360. Wake back, well done. And 180, and another 180. And that would be the sum of it. 2 fists in the air, very happy British skier on the water. 2 stand-up passes. Eleanor Benjamin, ladies and gents, representing Great Britain. Waiting for a score. So that was Eleanor Benjamin from the UK. Moving on to the next skier, and that's going to be an Italian, Alice Pagnoli, scoring 5,050 points in the prelims. definitely has a couple hundred, if not thousand, in the bank. Let's see if she can bring the A game this time around. And here we have Alice on the water already coming in for her pass number one. She's going to be starting with the toe hold this time around. Into the course she comes, 5,050 points in the prelims, rides about 6,800, 7,000 in her personal best. Starts off with a toe 7 into a beautiful toe 5 as well. Jumps out for the wake back backs and the second one back in. The flat ones for good measure. And the reverse toe 5. And a D3 out, D3 in. It's going to want to jump out at D3. Up, well corrected. And a wake line 180, and a very happy Italian at the end of that pass. Beautiful stand-up pass there from Alice. Did all of her tricks, 2 360s, 2 540s, and a 7 wake back backs, flat back backs, and a toe line 1. Very, very good stuff. Let's see if she can stand up also the second one in handheld. And we have a score here for Eleanor Benjamin as well. 3,740, 3,740. Seems like the judges didn't like one trick there. 260 points. What is 260 points? It sounds to me like both sides slide in the toe hold. That's 2 times 130. Either way, that's the score to beat for now, as it's just 60 points more than Anna Češpivová, so 3,740 points, the current leading score. I'm sure that's going to get broken later on in this series, as we have some real big names coming up. Just for the viewers of La Liga who are maybe not as familiar with water skiing, the pause here is due to the fact that the skier is allowed a break at the end of their first pass. They get 20 seconds one way to show as many tricks as possible. They cannot repeat the tricks that they've already done before, so they are all unique, every single one of them. And when they get to the end of the lake, and if they manage to get through successfully, they get to change their gear and also get set up for their next pass. It's always only 20 counted seconds, and the judges are there to decide whether the trick was valid or not. And so here comes the second pass for the Italian Alice Bagnoli, starting off with a 540 outside from the center of the wakes, and a second 540, this time a 360 into the flips. And one standard one, this was a back flip, and a second back flip. Now back to front flip. There we go. And it's going to be a front to back, well landed. Needs to come in for the second one. And there was a back-to-back. Unfortunately, that was the one she fell on as well in the preliminary run as well. Very unfortunate, and she's quite audibly unhappy with herself, and she had it very, very close as she's signaling to us as well. I think that was the last trick in her run, and that would have been very, very good score had she landed it nicely. Either way, 4 flips, 2 540s and a 360 plus some change, I think, are the points there. We'll wait for judges to decide and the scorer to let us know on the live results. I'll bring you the score as soon as I know it. Next up, from Belarus, Alexandra Danishevskaya. In the prelims, 5,670 points, 5,670. Okay, and here we go again. Sasha Danishevskaya from the beautiful country of Belarus. Starting off with toe hold herself. As she enters the red buoy, she's allowed to start tricking. And as she lets go of the rope and starts her pass, it's a T7 to T540, toe backpacks, and a reverse T5 in, T3 out, T360 in, and a jump to the wakes 360. Whoa, that could be quite painful as well. Let's hope she's okay on that one. The release person in the boat was very quick to let her go, but that was a great attempt at toe wake 360 front to front jump. Basically what she was attempting was to jump a 360 over her own rope. Unfortunately, it did not quite pan out for her, and I'm afraid it's going to be a lot of points lost there for Alexandra. She was the bronze medalist last year, where she scored 6,710 points, and she's well capable of going into the 7,000s with 7,490, her personal best. See, in a situation where the skier doesn't get to go all the way to the end of the lake because their run didn't go smoothly, they'll have to switch their gear around now and get back into their ski and get ready for their second pass. The boat is going to go all the way towards the end, spin them around and bring them back. This is also when they discuss what had happened and what to focus on with their coach. skier on the water, Sasha Danishevskaya, 22 years of age. In tricks, she was best ranked third in Europe, 17th in the world. But she's a very strong overall skier, placing really high in the jump and slalom as well, which is also making her a very strong contender in the overall competition, which counts sort of, you could say, percentage of the winner's score in each category, puts it together into one score and announces the strongest overall skier. Here we go, 540 inside, 540 outside of the wakes, and the third 540 in. Wake back backs, flat back backs, and into the flips. One, the simple one into the back position, and back to front. Ooh, almost didn't land that one once again. And then a front to back. So it's going to be a back to back. Oh yeah, she held the landing, although I feel like there should have been one more, and this was not a clean run once again from Sasha Danishevskaya. She made the 5 flips, and I think they're all going to count. They were certainly in time, I'm fairly certain of that, but made a mistake in her run with toe hold at the 360 step over, and now did not get a clean run in the handheld. So that's not a score she's going to go be writing home about. We don't really have any new scores for the moment. We'll just have to wait and see for those. Meanwhile, next skier on the jetty, Tatyana Shurakova from Russia. A great tournament is happening once again in the courtesy of the Botas family and the Sesenia site. So thank you once again for having us. So far we are being well entertained. I'm going to check the live results here for another time just to see if we have anything new. Nope, not quite. Still the 3,700 points, 3,740 points, excuse me, for Eleanor Benjamin, and 3,680 for Anna Cheshpivova so far. Next up we'll have on the water from Russia, Tatyana Shurakova, 8,160 points, her personal best from 2012. Has a multitude of national championships, and she also holds the national record in tricks for Russia. Tatyana is 47 years old, so in this very competitive field of quite young skiers as well. For example, the previous skier, Sasha Danishevskaya, only 22 years old. So Tatyana keeping up very good shape in the skiing all these years, and she's been around for a very long time. Plenty of experience. Here she comes, handheld pass, starting it off, 540 first, into another 540 out, and a 540 back in, and here she goes, ski line 180, and into the flips. Standard flip 1, standard flip 2, and a front to back, back to front now, I imagine. There it is, and this is going to be a couple of flat back backs to get the points in. All right, so that was a very entertaining 20 seconds there from Tatyana Shurakova. I counted 4 flips, 1 ski line, which is a trick where the skier goes over the rope and spins some while at that, and hers was with the 180 spin. We'll see some pretty massive ski lines and more flips with the men's category as well later on, and probably from the other skiers in this category too. In the prelims, Tatiana scored 6,940. That's 6,940. It's quite a lot. And I spoke to her just briefly before as she was warming up, and she said that she thinks to get into the podium she'd need at least the 7,300 points. So definitely needs to step up, at least in her own mind, if she wants to have the bronze medal. And here comes Tatiana for her pass number 2. After she's done with that, we'll see 3 more skiers in these women finals. Hanna Stralcova from Belarus, Laura Fili from France, and also Janina Boneman from Germany. Let's go. Green buoy announced, meaning we are entering the course with the skier. They can start tricking at the entrance, which is signaled by the red buoy that she's passing now. And here comes Tatiana. Toe hold pass. Beautiful T7 into the T540 and to the toe backpacks into the T540 in the reverse, T360 and another, the reverse, jumping out the 360 and whoa, front to front line and a 180 line front to back line still. A couple of side slides and 180s for the last couple of points, and those are 2 stand-up runs there from Tatiana Shurakova. Very well done, managed to squeeze all of her tricks in without a hitch. Let's see if the quality of them is going to be appreciated by the judges well enough, and if the timing was generous enough that she made it all in. All of this matters, so much complexity to trick waterski. Meanwhile, 3 more skiers to go in these women finals for 2019 European and African Championships here in sunny Cesena. Okay, plenty new scores. Just seems like my browser was completely down. So, Alice Bagnoli, 6,030 points, 6,030. And I've got a score here as well for Sasha Danishevskaya. That's 5,610. I'll remind these are provisional and might be subject to review. So 6,030, that's Alice Bagnoli. Very, very good score there for her. Let's see how she does in terms of her competition from the other skiers. But this is putting her in the current lead as far as I'm aware. And also brings her much, much closer to standing on the podium here today. Skier who's probably not all that happy with the result, Sasha Danishevskaya. Unfortunate there for her, she could not get a clean run and could not get all the points in. Has a very, very similar score to the one in the prelims, but I was saying in the prelims as well that she'd definitely like to improve on it. Next skier on the water, Hanna Straltsova from Belarus, silver medalist from last year. Belarus, the only country in the ladies' finals represented by more than one skier. We've already seen the first one, Sasha, and now it's Hanna's turn to show what she got. Leading score for now, 6,030 points from Alice Bagnoli. So she's worst fifth, but we'll have to see how the four of the other competitors do. Here she is, Hanna in her pass. Beautiful ski line session into the flips now. Oh, and the first one, unbelievable, ladies and gents. This is an absolute unexpected turn of events. I have not seen these skiers from Belarus trick, I'm gonna go and say this poorly in a very, very long time. They're famed for the quality of their tricks. This country have the men's and women's absolute best in the tricks, and it's very, very unfortunate there for Hanna that she could not land her flip, and this was the first one as well. All of the points still in the run that she could not extract. Just trying to make sense of the scores, and there's a reviewed score here for Sasha Danishevskaya, and that's 7,330. It doesn't really sound very possible, but I'm not going to argue with the live results and the jury. They know much more than I do, so I'm correcting this on my sheet for 7,330 for Sasha Danishevskaya, and there's also a score for Tatiana Churakova, who skied 7,850, that's 7,850, a super, super strong score there from the Russian skier, if obviously it's going to stand the pressure of review, and it's certainly asking for a spot on the podium. Very, very good run there from the Russian skier. Two stand-up ones, and she said earlier that she thinks she's going to need 7.3 to make it onto the podium, and she got a 7.8. Here comes Hanna, pass number 2. Fell early in the first one, so let's hope she's not down with her spirits. 540, whoa, straight away into the wake backpacks. And the flat ones, 540, reverse 360, 360 in, 360 out of the wakes. Front to front line, and a 180 line, now the back-to-back one coming in. What else is there? And a wake 180 toe hold. It was a very, very good run, so much so that it makes it even more unfortunate that she could not get her points in the first one. This was a brilliant run here in the second toe hold pass. Complete all her tricks in an amazing pace and style. This is what I'm talking about when I say that I'm used to seeing very quality skiing of tricks from the skiers from Belarus. Unfortunately, could not repeat that today. Not in all of their passes. Okay, and one more change once again for Sasha's score. That's a 5,610. Does sound a bit more plausible, to be honest, because it just was way too many points for the fact that she didn't complete one of her passes. So 5,610, I'm much more poised to believe that one. And the 7,330. The score for Tatiana might be the 7,850, but it might as well not be. We'll only know after the competition is really over. These are live provisional results, I'll remind you. Which also kind of washes my hands of any responsibility of telling you an incorrect score, because, well, it's not my responsibility to actually announce official scores. Nice. Two more skiers to go, ladies and gents, and this is now getting very, very tense in terms of who's going to be taking which medal back home from the European and African Championships. Two more skiers in the ladies' finals for tricks here. First up, French lady Laura Billy skied 7,640 points in the preliminary run. A very, very respectable score, although she was bested by one skier, and that's the next one on the dock. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here, and let's watch Laura and her run number one. She's going to be starting it off with toe hold into the 540, jumping the wake back into the flat once, and now 540 in, 360 out. 360 in, 360 out of the wakes. Front to front first ski line and a 180 line into the back-to-back line, and a couple of side slides just for good measure. Beautiful stand-up run here from the French skier. She did have an iteration on the very usual and well, very effective sequence of tricks that you've certainly noticed is being repeated by the skiers. One reason, it nets the most points. Although I did feel like she left out a couple of the back-to-backs in favor of just a simple 180. Here comes Laura. Laura, I guess you could say. Here she is. Wake back, one, and then she just gets out of there and goes for the flips. 1 and 2. Now front to back to front flip. You don't really see that from many ladies. And the flight backs into the ski lines, back to back. and a front-to-back one, and there it is, a very, very happy French girl, fists in the air, awesome stuff. Celebrating already on the water because she knows she's done well. 2 stand-up passes from the French skier once again, and she's going to be attacking the medals here, maybe silver, maybe even better. We'll just have to wait for the official scores to come out. Obviously, the provisional ones are a good indication of it because not many times do you see that stuff changes very, very much. Obviously, skiers and coaches have a limited amount of time to review and actually protest if they feel like they have not been treated fairly. I would not speak to the amount of times this actually works out. And more scores here. An amendment for Tatiana Shurakova, 7,330, 7,330, which is exactly what she told me she wanted to do, at least needed to do, to make it onto the podium. I believe that this should leave her quite happy with her performance, and hoping for her that this works out. And one more score, that's for Hanna Straltsova. The Belarus skier managed to score 4,730. That's 4,730. As we've seen, the basically only one run with points, because the second one she's missed out on most of them due to a fall on the first flip. So currently, the way I'm looking at this, Tatiana Shurakova from Russia should be guaranteed a medal. Bronze at the very least. I don't have the score here for Laura Fili, nor Janina Boneman, who we are still yet to watch. But Tatiana, congrats. This means you're on the podium. Let's see if you're going to be bronze, silver, or gold. Second in line, they're waiting currently with 6,030 points, Alice Bagnoli. The rest of the skiers, unfortunately, did not do all that well this time around. It might be the nerves, might be the length of the day. It's already almost 5 o'clock here today, and we've been skiing loads today, so here comes Janina Boneman, 9,330 points in the prelims. Toe run first of all. Let's see it. Absolute masterclass. Starting off with a T7 into the T5. Toe back, 1 and 2. Flat ones. T540 in, T360 out, T360 in. Jumping out with the 360 and front to front flip lines. Whoa, what was that? I'm not sure that was planned. And a back to back line. I don't think the step over line section that worked out the way she wanted it. As far as I can remember, she has a 360 into a 180 line and into a back line. But I think we've only seen the 360 and the back-to-back. Therefore, she's going to be missing a couple of points from her run this time around, but she doesn't need her full run because her full run was just in a class of her own in the prelims. What she needs to do, however, is to come back with a strong handheld pass. Ideally, she wants every single trick she has there. She's aiming to beat 7,330 from Tatiana Shurakova. Oh, ladies and gents, I do have a score here for Laura Fili, 7,840, 7,840. So the French skier certainly took this final event very seriously and managed to execute well. She's, as far as I can see, 200 points up on her run from the prelims and puts herself on the podium and currently first as well. Therefore, guaranteed silver medal, at the very least. We're bound to find out any moment now whether that's going to be silver or if it's going to have the gold color. Here comes Janina Bonneman. This is the last pass we'll see in the ladies' final for tricks today. She needs to do more than 7,330 to get silver, more than 7,840 to get the gold. Here she comes, 540 in, 540 out, 540 in, and now ski line 180 out into the flips. A front flip nonetheless to start with, and a beautiful flip 1 and 2. This is going to be a back to front, and now front to back, coming in for another front to back. Oh, whoa, 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 ends up falling quite sharp there as well. Fists are in the air, the flips were in the run, and we're just going to have to wait and see how many points that's going to turn out to be. I don't know, it might not be enough for the gold here. Wasn't a clean run on the way there, and wasn't a complete run on the way in back. Also a fairly hard hit in the fall there towards the end of her run. Either way this is going to turn out, ladies and gents, we've now completed the women's finals for the 2019 Waterski Open Championships at the European and African continents, and we'll be moving on to the men's finals shortly. Let me just get myself set up for that, and I'll try to bring you the updated score here for Janina and the rest of the skiers. Okay, I do not have Janina's score quite yet. We'll just have to wait for it now. But the competition is not waiting for anyone. This is Edoardo Marenzi from Italy, already starting the men's finals. Toe hold first of all. Let's see him go for it. Starting it off with a T5 into the toe, wake backpacks and flat ones. Ooh, almost lost it there. Recovering nicely. This is where he fell first time around, but not this time. Good stuff. Front to front. 180, back to back, and is there going to be one more back to back? Yes, there it is. Oh yes, fists in the air already, even 2 tricks before he was done. Good skiing here from Edoardo, who scored 7,430 points to get into the finals. That was the Italian Edoardo Marenzi. Cutoff into last year's finals was 8,700 points, so once again the trick finals here just slightly easier this time around than last year. This was not the case for the other disciplines, as far as I know. Slalom was much more difficult, and jumps were just absolutely hyped today, at least for the gents. Let me take you through the starting order as well on the men's finals. That's Edoardo Marenzi that we just watched in his run number 1, followed by Marek Mlinek from Slovakia, Lindsay Bordier from France, Stepan Špak from Belarus, Tanguy Dayan, France, Olivier Fourton, Belgium, Alexandre Boteau, France, Nicolas Benatti from Italy, Thibaut Dayan, France, Louis Duplin Fribourg, France, Pierre Ballon, France, and also Alexei Jarnashek from Belarus. You could notice there is an abundance of French skiers in the finals. Let me just count that down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Half the final is French. Super, super strong showing here from the French skiers, be it overall or tricks or jump as well. Even though we have 6 Frenchmen into the finals, it was topped off by Alexei Jarnashek from Belarus, who skied 11,420 points. And here's a score for Janina Bonneman. Not quite certain if this is the final one, if we've seen multiple modifications. 9,020 points. This should grant her the absolute victory here and the gold medal. Let's see if that is indeed the case, but I do believe that should be it. Meanwhile, Edoardo Marenzi, run number 2, back-to-back line, and a back to front, I believe, front to back, and into the flips. Back to back to kick it off with, and a second. Whoa, almost lost it there. Going for the front to back one, and now again. And this is going to be a front flip. Beautifully done. And a second front flip. A shit ton of points there for him. Oh, great run, great run. Wasn't the cleanest, but it was great, great, great. 6 flips, I believe 3 or 4 lines. Loads of points for Eduardo. This is going to be much better than the 7,430 that we've seen from him in the prelims. Much better. All right, let me just run down once again the podium for the ladies. So if the changes are not changing significantly, the winner and your gold medal European champion is going to be Janina Bonneman from Germany. Congratulations, Janina, well deserved. 2 amazing runs, both in the prelims and in the finals as well. Second from France, Laura Philly taking home the silver medal, only confirming the strength of French trick water skiing recently, with the score of 7,840 points, and third place going to Russia, 7,330 points. Tatiana Shurakova improving on her preliminary run by roughly 400 points. Congrats, ladies. You deserved it. You skied really, really well yesterday and today to make it into the finals. Awesome stuff. But that was it for the ladies, and now we're watching the men's finals. Plenty of action to come. We've seen the first skier, Edoardo Marenzi, 11 more to go. Next up from Slovakia, Marek Mlinek, who scored 7,520 points to get into the finals. Personal best, some 700 points further, 8,230. I'll remind that the world record and also the European record, as the world record holder is from Belarus, is 12,570 points, and we will see this man later on today. Okay. On the water right now, 28-year-old skier from Slovakia, Marek Mlinek. Also going in with the toe hold first. Here he comes. Starting it off with the T7 into a T5. Whoa! Oh, no, no, no. And I believe that is the end to Marek's trick chances here in the finals. Super, super unfortunate. I've not seen this from him for, I don't even know, very, very long time. Must have been the nerves. I'm not quite sure what had happened there. It's a very, very solid skier, and I have no idea what happened. Oh well, Unfortunate there for the skier from Slovakia. Let's get him back up on the boat and into his second pass, this time around handheld. And the second run for Marek Malinek, flipping it in this time around, standard and a standard. Oh, I guess he was just completely out of it at this point. Very disappointed with him and his first run, and this is how that ended up. Sorry, Marek, but you threw this away, mate, this time. I am very sorry for what happened to you, but this is the sport. Meanwhile, the score in for Edoardo Marenzi. Let me just open my phone again. 9,160 points. 9,160. Very, very significant improvement there from Eduardo from the 7.43 that he had in the prelims. That's a Sorry, I am back. I was just going to say that was a very significant improvement there by Eduardo. 1,700 points extra, which is certainly going to promote him up the order. And with the likes of Marek not scoring well, that's certainly going to be much, much better than the 12th after prelims. We have 10 more skiers to go. Up next from France, Lindsay Bordier. The 19-year-old Frenchman we've seen today sent in a massive jump of 61.7 for the first time in his life, getting over the 60-meter mark. Beautifully done at that as well. He literally did not even need 2 or 3 jumps, went for it with the first one and just killed it right from the get-go. So yeah, we've seen the Frenchman on the water right now, Lindsay Bordier, do an amazing jump on 61.7. Sent it and just went home after the first one because this was an improvement of like 3 meters on his own personal best. Now he's in tricks into the back position and back-to-back flip to begin with, and a second one into the front flip. One and front, this was a back to front, front to back, and a 180 front flip, which unfortunately he cannot land. Wow, and he really was trying to stand up from it way too hard. I felt like he was in the water right from the point that he landed in it, and then he held it for solid 20-30 meters maybe. You don't really get to see that every day here, but only comes to show the amount of fighting spirit this young Frenchman has in him. All right, and as we are bringing Lindsay back in for his pass number 2, just going to go by his bio sheet very quickly. 19 years of age, personal best of 10,470 points, got into the prelims with 8,460. Certainly is going to want to improve on it. Let's see how he does. Could not complete the first one, unfortunately, even through a massive fighting spirit. Not quite sure what's happening there. He's not happy with something. He's just going to have to start quite late. And here he goes. Let's hope his time has not started until he started tricking. D7 into the D5, backbacks and wake backbacks, flat 180s. D360 in and D360 out, front to front line and a 180 line. Oh, into the 540, the front to back. This man is completely crazy, ladies and gents. Great stuff. Let's hope he made it all in time. Let's see the scores if we have anything new here. Marek Linek, 2,310 points, 2,310 points. Certainly not happy with that, absolutely not. Let's wait for Lindsay. He's had a bit of a tumble day in the first pass, and we'll see how the second pass made up for it. And so there was Lindsay Bourdier from France. 9 skiers to go today in the men's finals. Next up, we have a skier from Belarus. 9,050 points to get into the prelims. Stepan Špak, 24 years of age, personal best of just over 10,000 points. Here comes the skier from Belarus. Really well-built guy. He's a massive, massive man. Here he comes. Toe hold first time around. T5 into the toe wake back. The wake ones and the flat ones. And there he goes. T5 in, T3 out. T3 in is going to want to jump out the 360. 360 line. Whoa, a bit wobbly there. Corrected it. And now, he did correct it, but it put him out of balance there. Quite visibly unhappy with that. The ski even let go, so it must have been a bit of a nasty crash. That was on the 180 front to back line that he fell. The front to front 360 ended up working fine, but had a bit of an issue there with the landing and could not quite get the balance back in shape. And we'll be seeing him in the next pass, handheld. Still a quite unfortunate turn of events for a couple of skiers here in these finals. Let's hope we'll be seeing full passes from now on. Let me just run through the rest of the starting order. It's going to be a French affair from now on, with some notable exceptions. First up from France, Tanguy Dayan. Afterwards, Olivier Fortin from Belgium, Alexandre Poteau, France, Nicolas Benetti, Italy, Tanguy Dayan, France, Louis Duplan-Fribourg, France, Pierre Ballon from France, and also Alexei Jarnashek closing it all off with his tricks later on. Let's spin Stepan around and bring him back in for his handheld pass. Here he comes. Pass number 2. 540 line out of the gates, and the second one, so much height on them as well. Back to back into the back to back flip. Well done here from the skier from Belarus. Back to front, and a front to back into the front to back once again, and a standard flip into the front flip, and a couple of the quick backs to knock it off. Well done here by the skier from Belarus. Full stand up run, 6 flips. Amazing sequence of ski lines, 540 into a 360, and I believe there was one more that I just cannot recall at the moment. Great showing from the skier from Belarus. And we have a score here for Lindsay Bourdier, 7,970, 7,970. That's roughly 500 less points than he scored in the prelims. Not the ideal run there for the Frenchman. Currently ranked second. We are still waiting for more scores, but as Stepan has only skied now, it's obvious that the judges need a while to go through the review and announce the scores. We want to make sure that everything is in order and correct according to the rules. And next up, we'll be watching Tanguy Dayan. Did have a quick peek into the overall results for men as well, and it's actually Tanguy leading that competition right now, and he's leading it by 1 point against his older brother, Thibaut. Tanguy's score to get into the finals, 9,050 points. Apologies, 9,650 points. Personal best 600 points further with a 10,220-10. A fierce brotherly competition at the pinnacle of overall skiing here. How amazing is this? In the 3 competitions you can pull together, and the overall score is derived from the best skier in each category, and they're 1 point apart with 2,900 points-ish somewhere, and just 1 point between them. Here he comes, D5 into the V, wake back backs and the flat ones. D5 in, D3 out, D3 in. He's going to want to grab that and jump out into a V360. Front to front line, and a front to back, back to back, and there should be one more back to back coming, and a quick 180 just to round the run off. Great stand-up run. Looked very safe there for the young Frenchman, 23 years of age. Already the under-21 European champion in 2015 and 2016. French champion in the open category for 2015 and 2016, and also silver medalist from the World Championships for under 21, and also the Open 2015. And still the current leader with 9,160 points, a very respectable score, Edoardo Marenzi from Italy, climbing up the ranks, even though he did not have the best run in the prelims and just made it into the finals. Here we have the 23-year-old Frenchman, Tanguy Dayan, coming back for his handheld pass. He's going to kick it off with the flips, back to back, and the second back to back into the front flip. One front to back, back flip, back to front, front to back once again flip, and then the standard flip into a 540 line, out, and once again a front to front 360 line, 180 line, And that will be it. This was not a clean run. Even though this was a stand-up run, it was not clean. I seen the previous run for this man, and I feel like he had a couple more points there, maybe one or two tricks that we have not seen, as he could not land everything cleanly. We'll have to wait to see what this nets him in terms of the score. That's 5 out of 12 skiers down. Moving on to the next skier, this time from Belgium, Olivier Fortin. And meanwhile, a score for Stepan Špak, 8,760, 8,760. Current second place behind Edoardo Marenzi, who really made a beautiful comeback with his great standout performance in the first skier in these men's finals. I'll repeat his score, 9,160, and that's your current leader, Edoardo Marenzi from Italy. Here we go, Olivier Fortin from Belgium. Starting it off with the handheld run, 540 line, oof, almost lost it there. Front 360 and another inside into the wakes. And then a back-to-back, front flipped first. I believe that was the second one. No, that was a standard flip into the standard flip. Front to back flip. Front to back and a back-to-back, beautifully done. Slightly uncomfortable there with the ski lines to start with. Almost lost it at the very first one, so there were two 360 lines front to front, one back to back, and also a 540 to kick it off with 6 full flips, 2 standard ones with some back to front and one back to back towards the very end of the run. That was a great stand-up run there from Olivier. Let's see if he can also stand up the toe hold coming back in. Here comes Olivier. T7 into the T5. Toe wake, back, 1 and 2. So much height on them. Flat ones. T5 in, into the T360 out. and it's going to be a front-to-front line, front-to-back, back-to-back, hands in the water, and another back-to-back. So a good stand-up run. I don't think it was perfectly clean, and he's well relieved that this is it. That is it. He's done. He's happy, but I think he had a bit more in the tank there. Great performance here by the Belgian. He scored some 9,730 points to get into the finals. I reckon this score is going to be somewhere around there once again, maybe slightly less, seeing these weren't clean runs. We'll just have to wait and see. Meanwhile, half the final done and in the books. Let's go with the last six skiers of the day. Alexandre Poteau from France coming up next. Score in the prelims, 10,040 points. We are in the big league now, ladies and gents. The skier that we've just seen on the water, Olivier Fortin, was the bronze medalist from last year with a score of 10,380 points. And the skier we're about to watch right now, Alexandre Poteau from France, was the silver medalist at the last year, the runner-up with 10,840, a super strong score. Here he comes, Alexandre from France. Personal best, 11,800 points. This man can really push the envelope. Let's be very attentive to his tricks now. D7 into the D5. Doing great for now. P360 out and a front-to-front line into the 180 line, into the back-to-back line, and one more needs to come here. There it is, and he stands it up like a champ. Beautiful run from the Frenchman. And we have a score here for Tanguy Dayan, 8,750 points, literally 10 points less than Stepan Špak. Currently, that's good enough for third place. I'm sure that's going to change with the scores that we are yet to receive. So your leader still, Edoardo Marenzi from Italy, 9,160, showing us a very good run there in both of his passes. Well deserved there with the lead for now, 9,160. I'll repeat the score for Tanguy Dayan from France, 8,750. And second in current rankings, 8,760 by Stepan Špak. For the viewers of La Liga who are not very familiar with what trick water skiing, there isn't a single trick that's worth 10 points. The very least you can do on the one ski, that's the only way that the skiers do this for now. is 40 points for a side slide. So a 10-point difference is just, I mean, obviously it is significant because it is going to put the other person above you, but it's so close. There isn't even a single trick between you. The absolute closest of margins in trick water skiing. Here we come. Alex Poto, back-to-back flip to kick it off. And the second one into the front flip. I imagine this was the back flip front to back and a back to front. Oh, the 540 line there proving to be a bit too much. He was out of balance, the French skier. He's going to lose loads of points there. Even though most of the flips were in, he still had loads of lines and maybe even one more flip there. I'm not quite certain how his run is supposed to go, but he's not going to be happy. That's a good 3,000 points, perhaps even the 3,000 points that he still left there in the run. This is turning out to be a real drama here in the prelims, and the person capitulating on it and profiting out of it the most, Edoardo Marenzi, rising up the ranks like a rocket. And ladies and gents, here is a jolly score for Olivier Fortin. 10,290 points. 10,290, ladies and gents. New leader out of Belgium, Olivier Fortin, with a 10,290 points, which is only 90 less than he scored last year at the Europeans and African Championships, and which netted him the final bronze medal. Let's see if this is also going to be the case here for Olivier. He's got plenty of good names still to beat. So I think Alex Poto might not be in the mix there with the fact that he could not complete his run in the second pass. However, still skiers to come. And every single skier out of the ones we have left on the dock scored more in the prelims than Olivier Fortin just scored now. Next up, Nicolas Benetti out of Italy, 10,310 points, 20 more than Olivier. That was his run in the prelims. Can he repeat it? Can he improve it? Stay tuned to find out. There we have it, 5 skiers before we can call it a day today. That does not mean you should be going anywhere, because the show is about to go down massively. Nicolas Benetti out of Italy, 10,310 points in the prelims. Here he goes, starting it off with a toe 7 into the toe 5. Wake back backs. 1 and the flat ones coming in for the T5 in, T3 out, T3 in, T360 out of the, whoa, no, excuse me, 540 and a line, back to back. Whoa, I could not stand up from the last trick. Unfortunate, but that was towards the very end of his pass, so it might not be as costly as you may think. Okay, so I think I might have understressed how well he ran that, even though he fell down towards the end. The 540 that we've seen out of him, that was a T540 line. That must be a heck of a lot of points that he gets for that trick. I would need to bring up the tables to tell you the exact amount. I don't have that in my head. That's very, very difficult of a trick to pull off. Even the back-to-back and the single lines, I did try that in my time, the single 180 line, and I could not master it. I was never a very good trick skier, but that's certainly not the case for Nicolas Benatti, because he had gone in and pulled off a 540 line perfectly.
Second pass, Nicolas, back position.
Here we have a score for Alexander Poteau as well, even though he could not complete his pass fully. That's 8,680, 8,680, a very, very respectable score. This is amazing, actually, because Alex Poteau scored 8,680, and then we have Stepan Špak in 8,760, and also 8,750 by Tanguy Dayan. So these three skiers very, very evenly matched with their scores, within 120 points of each other, so super, super close. And another proof of a very stacked competition here in Cesena. The best of the best in the region are here, and they are present, and they are showing us what they're worth. You must be able to appreciate that. Here comes Nicolas Benatti with the flips. That was a back-to-back. Oh, no way. Oh no, Nicolas. Second flip proved to be the fatal one. So many points left in that run. That's going to be another subpar score here from the Italian skier. Had a great run there, fell in the last trick in the first pass, and the second pass, back-to-back flip, just could not quite do it. Super, super, super unfortunate for the Italian skier. 4 more skiers to go, however. Let's hope we see the full runs from there, because they are spectacular. Thibaut Dayan coming in from France, 10,420 points in the prelims. Very, very strong skier, currently second in overall, which is 1 point behind his own brother. Dayan family very, very pleased with how this championship is going for them so far, I imagine. Ladies and gents, 4 skiers to go on the water right now. Thibaut Dayan, 3 times overall European champion, 2 times overall, second place in the overall championship in the Worlds. Whoa, starting it off with a T5 off the wake. Back-to-backs, wake ones, flat ones. And into, whoa, front to front. I almost lost it there. Front to back line, back to back line, and another back to back line coming in. And just a toe wake 180 to use the spare time for some extra points. I don't know, man. I've seen cleaner runs out of Thibaut. Personal best of 11,840 points. So this man can certainly go super, super, super well. So yeah, as I was saying, I did see a couple of cleaner runs here in the past from Thibaut Dayan. Let's see if he can build on this. It was a stand-up run. He made it all the way towards the end, so loads of tricks in, loads of points in. Meanwhile, a score for Nicolas Benatti, 5,520. Unfortunate for him that he landed the second flip badly in his run and could not continue the run as he fell down. Only the second trick in the run. It's usually about 10 or 12, depending on how quickly the skier does it. And super, super, super unfortunate. Here comes Thibaut Dayan. 10,420 points in the prelims. Let's see if he can do a full pass this time around, handheld. Back-to-back flip. And the second. Into the 540 line, super height on that. And another 540 line. This time a 360 front to front and a 180 line into the front flip. And a back to front flip. And another front to back this time around. And another front flip still. This man killed this run. Absolute killer. 6 flips, 4 lines, I believe. 540, 540, 360, and a 180. 10 tricks, all the points. Awesome skiing here by the Frenchman. That was a standout run. Super, super good in the handheld. Let's see what this nets him in terms of the points. Final 3 skiers on that tee. First up, Louis Duplain Fribourg, 10,440 points, besting his French colleague by 20 points in the prelims. "19 years of age, a rising star out of France. We've seen him beat his personal best here today in jumps. Has a personal best in tricks of 10,950 points and personal best in slalom of 3 at 1075. Everything absolutely recent, either last year or this year. If you're talking about someone on the rise in this sport, is this young man who we're going to watch right now. final 3 skiers of these finals of tricks in the European and African Championships for 2019, hosted in sunny Cesena in Spain. Great location, pretty much perfect conditions for water skiing here today. Luis sets up his speed and says this is all a-okay. Here he goes. Back-to-back flip to begin with. Beautiful height on that. And the second going into the front flip. Once again, great height. And a standard flip into the back position. And another front to back. This time it's going to be a back to front. And a 540 line in. And a second 540 line out. 360 in. Couple of the backbacks. 3 lines, 6 flips. Beautifully done there by the young Frenchman. 19 years of age. Landed 3 lines and 6 flips in 20 seconds. Well, ideally he didn't go over 20 at all, because that's just going to take points away from him. Great first run. Now all he needs to do is come back and do what he trained for so many years. His dough run. Actually, I say so many years. He's only 19, so I guess it wasn't that many. I suppose he skis for roughly 10, maybe more years, but you know, I made it sound like he's 35 and been doing this for 30 of those, so. I'll remind the standings at this point. Your leader still Olivier Fortin from Belgium, 10,290 points. And second for now, 9,160, Edoardo Marenzi. Great performance from these 2 skiers. And as I was saying that we still have Olivier in the lead, that has changed. That is now Thibaut Dayan in the lead with the exact same score as he did in the prelims, 10,420. Super consistent there from the Frenchman. His colleague Louis Duplan-Fribourg on the water right now bested him by 20 points in the prelims. Can he repeat it? Can he best his colleague once again? If he does so, he reserves a spot on the podium for himself. Here we go. Starting it off with a T7, beautifully done into the T5. Wake back backs and flat ones. T5 in, T360 out, 360 in with the line, 180 line, back-to-back toe line, and needs to stand it up into the next one. And a 540 towards the very end. So this was massive. Absolutely massive there from the 19-year-old Frenchman, pointing towards the coach. The team and the family super happy about that. That was crazy. Absolutely the best run we've seen here so far. I would not be surprised if he made it into the lead. 5 lines there. What a pace from the young Frenchman. Super anxious to find out his score there. Strong performance by the 19-year-old. Okay, and two of the best trick skiers left. Right now, from France, 29 years of age, Pierre Ballon, 12,210 points personal best. Also kicking it off with the T540 into the wake back backs. Flat ones, super speed on that. 514, could not see that trick. T360, the line, and the 180 line, back-to-back line. It wasn't a back-to-back, it was just a back-to-front, and a 540 into the back-to-back, and another back-to-back. Was that like 6 lines this man did there? 5 or 6, I could not quite count as I could not see behind the ramp. Pierre and came in strong and showed up. Oof. The heat. I can certainly feel the heat, and it's not just a passionate Spanish sun. Great skiing here from the Frenchman. 540 line into the back-to-back line, another back-to-back line. I thought he didn't really get that done correctly, but I now realize that was meant to be that way, the back-to-front 180 line there. So I feel there was a back-to-front and a front-to-back, so two of those, 2 backs-to-backs, and a 540. And a 360 as well, so certainly 6 lines. Ay. Ladies and gents, I have a score for Louis Duplan Fribourg. 10,490 points. 10,490, besting Thibaut Dayan by 70 points. Only 70 points. When you get up to 10,400, the difference of 70 points is just so marginal, and yet this is what puts Louis on the podium. Guaranteed bronze medal. Congratulations, 19-year-old Louis, already on the podium here, pretty much guaranteed if nothing is to change with the reviews. If anyone ever doubted this man, here is the time to stop. And while we already know the first person on the podium, Louis Duplan Fribourg out of France, we are not done skiing here today. Pierre Ballon out of France, coming in for his second pass in the finals. Handheld this time around. What has he got in store for us? Starting it off with the flips. Back to back. Second back to back. Into the front flip. Number 1. Back to front, back flip. And a front to back, I believe. That was the 180 line, into the 540 line, and into a 540 out. Whoa, was that a front to front backflip with the 360? It was, but the next trick he could not land, and he's not happy about it. I don't know, it was towards the end of his run, but every single trick there is worth so many points. This is going to be very, very close. I reckon he's over the 10,000, but is it enough? Olivier Fortam is currently also over the 10,000 points, and he might not even get a medal with an amazing performance himself, so we'll just have to see what the judges think of Pierre's. Either way, one last skier to go here in this beautiful Saturday. Ladies and gents, the absolute legend of trig water skiing, Alexei Zharnashek, 39 years of age, world record holder, 12,570 points. Let's see what he's got in store for us. Starting in, coming in, back-to-back flip. And the second back-to-back flip. Front flip, one of the usual flips, just a standard one, and a front-to-back. And this was the, I'm not quite sure which flip that was, 540 line, another 540 line. Third one, and 180 to finish it off. Was that 3 540 lines? Oh, here we go. Ladies and gents, even though he could not complete his pass, Pierre Ballon, 11,050 points. 11,050 points. Your new leader, ladies and gents, secured second spot on the podium at the very least. We know two of the finalists, two of the podium guys, and they are both French, Louis Duplan-Fribourg and Pierre Ballon. A person waiting if they're going to get a medal out of Belgium, Olivier Fortin, with the score of 10,290 points. Provided Alexei does everything here, he could still take the gold, obviously. He might not. One final pass to go today. And no less of the man who is considered an absolute legend of trig water skiing, Alexei Zharnashek from Belarus. He did a 11,420 points in the prelims. Here comes Alexei Zharnashek and the pass to decide it all. Into the T5, super quick, and into the wake backpacks, flat ones now. It's going to be a T5 in, into the T3 out, and a front-to-front line. T3 in, into the T540 out of over the rope. Another 540 line, and a back-to-back line, and another back-to-back line. Yes, 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 and we hear the celebratory cheers by the skier from Belarus. 2 540 lines, 2 back-to-back lines, and another 180 line for good measure. Such a strong showing here by the legendary skier. I am sort of convinced he's going to get the gold here, but this is not for me to decide. This is for the jury. A very, very skilled and professional jury who are going to let us know on the score as soon as they have any. But meanwhile, I'm already taking the liberty to congratulate, at least provisionally, to Pierre Ballon and Louis Duplan-Fribourg, who have secured their spots on the podium. And I'm hearing from the chief judge that if you would like to review these scores and have a word with the jury about your run, this will be available in 10 minutes at the jury tower. So coaches and skiers who have skied in the finals and are interested to review their scores, you guys got 10 minutes. Well, 10 minutes when these will be available under the tower. Still waiting for the score for Alexei Zharnashek. Obviously a very, very difficult skier to score with many, many difficult and very high scoring points. So the jury wants to be completely certain on their decision. I'd like to thank the teams, coaches, and everyone who participated. Obviously, mostly to the skiers and the jury, the drivers, everyone who participated on this today. We have made it, and it was another great final in the ENA Open category for 2019 championship. Thank you to the viewers in La Liga for tuning in. Apologies, I could not be much more help in Spanish, but that's just me. And I'm still waiting to find out the score for Alexei Jarnashek. Either the podium is going to look like this: Pierre Ballon first, and Louis Duplan Fribourg second, and Olivier Fortam third, or they're all going to go one leg down, and Alexei Jarnashek is going to file in there somewhere. But from the reaction of Alexei's on the water, I mean, the man has been around for a very long time, and he does know when his runs are clean. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He does know his stuff. So I would expect him to top the rankings, but I might be wrong. Still a fairly dramatic moment here.
Buenas tardes a todos y bienvenidos también aquí al terreno, a este Botaski de Seseña, que como no estamos disfrutando de esta Copa de Europa de esquí náutico, y en este caso, como habéis podido disfrutar esta tarde, hemos estado con las figuras y tenemos aquí a una de las primeras ganadoras, a Janina Bonmen. Sí lo he dicho bien más o menos, es alemán, pero bueno. How do you feel today? Congratulations.
I'm feeling amazing. Like, I've had such a good tournament so far, and in all 3 events, and now winning the trick event. It's my first European Open medal, and I'm super, super happy that I won. And I mean, I can only wait for the other 2 events tomorrow, and hopefully they will go that well as well.
Perfect. And what do you think about your rivals? Because it be here isn't easy.
So coming here I traveled from the States and coming here to this beautiful place in Seseña, and it's such a great place to ski. Like, the lakes are perfect and great conditions. Like, there's nothing to complain about.
And how the preparation for this competition has been?
It has been really, really good. I've been skiing good and training really hard. We have the World Championships in 3 weeks, so I've been training to come here and then go to the World Championships, and I've been putting everything out there to ski good at those tournaments.
Perfect, Janina. Congratulations again.
Thank you so much.
Y por ahora lo dejamos aquí, pero ahora enseguida vamos a hablar con la organización de aquí, de este Botaski. como os decía, que estamos, como no, con la organización, porque no podemos dejar de hablar con ellos porque son quienes preparan todo, quienes tienen que estar al pie del cañón todos estos días. ¿Cómo ha sido la preparación? Porque ahora estamos viendo ya las finales, esta tarde y también mañana, pero esto lleva muchos días de previa.
Sí, la verdad es que sí. Lo bueno es que estamos muy acostumbrados a hacer campeonatos del mundo europeos, entonces entramos en la dinámica muy rápido. Pero sí, llevamos unas cuantas semanas trabajando en ello porque hay mucho trabajo detrás. La gente solo ve lo que es en el momento, ya en el campeonato, pero no se dan cuenta de todo el trabajo que conlleva.
Eso es, sí, todo el trabajo tiene algo muy merecido, que es la buena calidad y las buenas marcas que se están viviendo hoy. ¿Tú cómo has visto esta primera jornada de finales?
Bien, la verdad es que muy bien, porque si comparas las marcas que se han hecho en este europeo con otros europeos, están muy por encima de lo que se ha hecho. Eso quiere decir que la calidad está ahí y eso merece todo el trabajo que estamos haciendo.
Y mañana tendremos otras dos finales de salto y de slalom, con más presencia española. ¿Cómo las ves?
Ahí lo veo muy bien. Está Sandra en las finales de slalom y eso hay que apoyarlo a tope. La verdad es que está un poco lesionada, pero confiamos en que pueda recuperarse y que vaya por todas.
Claro que sí, pues mañana lo disfrutaremos y lo veremos aquí contigo también.
Muy bien, gracias.
Y ahora no os vayáis, que todavía nos queda el último ganador de hoy. Y como os decía, que estamos con el último ganador, el ganador de saltos, con Alexei. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Of course, I'm happy.
How do you feel today with your skis?
It felt good. I mean, of course, it's never too easy, you know, when you're in the final, European Championship. So I try to do, you know, my best and go try to do all my tricks, and I think I did pretty well. So I'm happy with that.
Well, how have you seen your evolution for this weekend?
Well, this weekend was for me mostly important because I'm coming back from the injury, so I kind of sat back for, you know, more than half a year, and then it was mostly just come back into, you know, feel the competition, feel the spirit, you know, and go from that.
Well, tomorrow are the other finals. What do you think that is going to happen?
Well, I'm going to be watching all the finals from ashore because my competition is over, but I think everyone's going to show pretty good skiing. Conditions amazing. So the lake is great, the boat is very good. So I don't see why not everyone's going to be doing pretty well, I think, here.
Okay, perfect. Congratulations one more time.
Gracias.
Y gracias también a todos los que nos habéis visto. Ahora os dejamos con los mejores momentos de la jornada y también mañana no os perdáis las finales de salto y de slalom que empezarán a partir de las 10 de la mañana.